Fam, what's going on? It's Kyle Henderson of Bama Football on YouTube. Tonight is Wednesday, November 15th. Thank you very much for joining me as soon as Coach Saban comes to the podium. We're expecting him at 5:50, but he sometimes comes around 6 p.m. So as soon as he comes, we'll bring him on right here to Bama Football on YouTube. I appreciate you guys joining me for the pre-Saban on Wednesday night. As you know, Alabama takes on Chattanooga this week. So get inside the comment box. If you guys want to have a pre-Saban Q&A, if you guys want some questions answered before Coach Saban hits the podium, go ahead and post those inside the comment box, and I'll be happy to answer them. I appreciate you guys joining me live on Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Calling into the call-in show. What's up, Mario? I see you inside the comment box. Thank you very much for joining us tonight. Hit the thumbs up, like, and subscribe if you're just checking in. As soon as Coach Saban comes to the podium, I will bring him live, and you guys can watch Coach Saban before Chattanooga, where Alabama is a 44-point favorite going into this game. Go ahead and, if you have questions, like I said, go ahead and post them inside the comment box, and then when Coach gets here, I will go to Coach Saban, go over a couple stats for this team thus far. It's really been an incredible run for this Alabama team. When you look to what they were able to do in these last few games, let's take this team from Ole Miss, right? And those were SEC games, and how this team was able to transform after South Florida. Because I look at this team in two different phases: the South Florida, Texas, and Middle Tennessee team. And then I look to this team as the SEC type team. And that's why I'm so perplexed about where Alabama is in the current rankings. And I get it. Look, head-to-head 100% should matter. But I think in listening and reading into the committee, they like style points, and I don't necessarily know if they value a weak schedule, but they want more style points. And Alabama played a very tough Texas team at that point in time. And I feel that that's kind of where people are living, is kind of on that first half of the Alabama team. This team, let's just take this, for example. And I said this earlier on my show today. The last two games that Texas have played, they've won those games by a combined 6 points. 3 points, it was an overtime game against Kansas State. And then against Texas Christian, they won by 3 points as well. Alabama, during November 4th and November 11th, beat LSU 42-28 and beat Kentucky in Lexington 49-21. So Boo Corrigan, who is the chair, he answers questions from the media after every single playoff release. He said that they go into each week with a clean slate. Well, if you're going into each week with a clean slate, then why is Alabama still number 8? Look, I think the teams at the top, Georgia should 1,000,000% be number 1. They should have never been number 2. And it's right that they are number 1 now that they do have 2 quality wins over Missouri and Ole Miss, but they should have never fallen behind Ohio State. This is a 2-time defending champ. They were undefeated. Now with Brock Bowers back, that's the team to beat. Everybody knows that, right? But when you look to the overall top teams, it's just hard to figure that right now, for as of the best teams, not the most deserving, and Alabama still is one of the most deserving. We've talked about their resume all week. Riding their incredible 8-game winning streak, 7-0 in conference play. That's SEC type play. I'll get to some of these questions, and as soon as Coach Saban comes, I'll split out, and you guys can watch Coach Saban's press conference on Wednesday. What's up, Sean? I see you inside the comment box. Thanks. I appreciate you guys. Roll Tide. Eddie K, what's up, man? Appreciate you joining. Jordan Lee has a question. Do you think Alabama, man, that's an avatar, man. I hope you're okay. Do you think Alabama has a chance of winning the national title of this game? Yeah, absolutely. I do not think that Alabama loses another game. And call it rat poison, whatever. That's my honest opinion. I think that the way that this team is playing, how they continue to transform. Coach Saban talked about Tommy Rees today and the continuity of chemistry or whatever with this offense. He said he's always had it with the players, but I think he's gotten more comfortable. The players have gotten more comfortable with him. He's starting to use Kendrick Law. You're starting to see that, a little bit of wrinkles, not like wide receiver pass or whatever, but, figure out a way to get the best players of football. And Kendrick Law is the type of player that I think is very versatile. So you got to figure out how to get your best players of football. And that's something that they're doing. Jalen Milroe, They allowed him to take over the game against LSU. And I think when Alabama push comes to shove, they're going to let Jalen Milroe just take over a game. There's not a defensive coordinator in all of college football that wants to deal with Jalen Milroe. I mean, he continues to increase, and even the Heisman Trophy watch, and which is amazing, because when you rewind to that first section of Alabama, there were so many people that didn't even want him to be the starter. This story has really been remarkable this year, just an incredible ride. So, yeah, if Alabama gets into the playoffs, yeah, I think they're winning the whole thing, 100%. And I think they're like still plus 800 or something like that right now. If you are just joining us, we are waiting for Coach Saban. Usually a tell sign when he's like 2 minutes out is when Cedric comes and puts the water bottle on the podium. So no water bottle right now. So that's kind of what I call the water bottle alert. And then I'll go to Coach Saban when he comes in live. So thanks for the question. If you guys have questions right now, I'm taking questions inside the comment box. Alabama football or college football related, just post them inside the comment box. We'll do a quick Q&A before Coach Saban hits the podium. I appreciate you guys joining. What's up, William? I appreciate you being a fan funder. Be a fan funder of this YouTube channel. Hit the join button up at the top of this video or on the homepage. And I really appreciate you guys' support. You guys have your full-time job. I have mine, and, have built this YouTube channel up. So I really appreciate you guys. Do I really think that Bama is better than Oregon? Yeah, I do. Look, their quarterback, Bo Nix, who has beaten Alabama head-to-head before, he's playing at an amazing level. I mean, I think he's like plus or minus 150 to win the Heisman. The kid is absolutely balling out. But I think when you look to Oregon's resume overall, they have an incredible offense. I think they're scoring 46.3 points a game, which is number one in college football. But who are their marquee wins, right? Look at their schedule. I think they have a top 60 schedule on Power Guru. That's strength of schedule, whereas Alabama has the second strongest schedule in the country. They have the win against Utah. I get it. The win was in Salt Lake. That's a tough place to win. Utah is a good football team. But I think, then they have the loss against Washington. And then what else are they working with other than that, right? So the coach, Dan Lanning, is a great coach. All these coaches are going to say that they're not interested in Texas A&M. Come on. Texas A&M talks to you and they're like, we'll give you $100 million guaranteed. You're going to listen to them. Promise you. But again, Phil Knight at Nike can do whatever he wants, and Oregon, is on the right track. I do think, though, that, Oregon, they just need a couple more quality wins. Now, I know that them beating Washington down the stretch would be that win. But other than that, I just don't think they really have a strong schedule. Good team, good coach. I just don't think that they have kind of the resume to be ahead of Alabama at this point in time. I think they're only on like a 4-game winning streak or something like that as well. But, yeah, I think that I would probably, absolutely. I have Alabama as a top 4 team. Right? Like right now, as of this very point in time, Alabama is a top 4 team. That's not being homerish. Like those are facts. That's my opinion. Those guys are playing it in a very high level. Let me see if this Zoom is. I do all this stuff myself, so I have to make sure everything is taken care of. Appreciate you guys being patient. Let's see what other questions I got inside the comment box. What's up, Kyle? Bama Nation. What's up, Mark? What's up, Kyle and Bama Nation? I don't have a question, but we're not getting into the playoffs unless we beat Georgia. We should be at least a number 5 or number 6. So the lowest committee is biased and trash. The committee has holes, 100%. I mean, it's a real travesty to the world of college football that a group of people get into a room and decide the finality of the college football playoffs. It's robbery to all of these teams, all these student athletes, coaches, whatever. You bring up a great point. And let me pose this to you. If Alabama is able to win out, they're able to take care of business against Chattanooga, beat Auburn on the road, which will, of course, be challenging, right? That's going to be hard. I mean, Hugh Freeze has beat Nick Saban twice when he was at Ole Miss. They're playing great football right now. I mean, where was this Auburn team all season long? Of course, they come on strong in the back end. If Alabama is able to beat Georgia, and Georgia is undefeated, let me pose this question to you, okay? Remember when TCU lost to Kansas State, right? And they were undefeated up to that point. What did the committee do? Which team did they put into the playoffs? They put in TCU into the playoffs. Can you imagine? Can you imagine this? I don't think it'll happen, but it's worth thinking about. You imagine if Alabama is able to, win the SEC championship and they still take Georgia as one of the playoff teams. What if they take Georgia and Alabama? And that's probably what they should do, honestly. If they both get to that point in time and it's a highly contested game, and whatever happens in the Big Ten, and a lot has to go down with Ohio State and Michigan. They still have to play, and they're both on the East. So if you're new to all of this, Michigan and Ohio State will not play in the Big Ten title game. They will play in the regular season, but they're both on the East of the division, so they won't play in the conference championship. So one of those teams will just likely end with one loss. Then you have to figure out what happens with the Pac-12, of course, in Washington playing some really good football. Their quarterback is phenomenal. He's been having a great season, and they'll likely play Oregon again. Washington unbeaten at this point in time, and then you have Texas. Look, I feel Texas is on the ropes right now. I mean, the last two games that they won are a total of, just 6 points. They play in Ames, Iowa State. That can be a tricky game. And then they have Texas Tech. You got to score a bunch of points to beat Texas Tech. That game is in Austin. And right now, at this point in time, Texas is still slated to play Oklahoma State. So that would be your Big 12 title game. We all saw what happened to Oklahoma State last week against Gus Malzahn, right, in Central Florida. They got completely blown out. So, look, the Big 12, who knows what's going to happen. So, I appreciate the comments inside the comment box, Mark. What's up, man? William says, how the hell are they going to keep them out of the playoffs if we beat Georgia? That's a good question. I mean, honestly, and I think a lot of it is we have to watch what happens with Texas. They love that head-to-head win over Bama. Way back in week 2 when that wasn't the same Bama team, they love it. Head-to-head win. They've said that Texas is a strong team, and with Quinn back, they like those guys. And I personally, I think that Texas will slip, and then Alabama will leapfrog them. So let's just see what happens there. But yeah, man, I mean, if Alabama wins the SEC title game, if you go to here's a fun thing to do. You can go to ESPN and go to the All-State playoff projections. And if you punch in Alabama, and if they win out and they win the SEC championship, they have a 94% chance of making the playoffs. So, look, those are all, hypothetical numbers or whatever, but it's pretty fun to play around. So go to ESPN, click rankings, and then click All-State playoff projections, and you can play with some different scenarios. It's pretty cool. William's also saying Bama fatigue. Let's see. Oh, Jordan, man. Wow. That's I'm glad you're doing okay, man. My prayers for you, and thank you for being here and sharing that with us. Everybody, look, like it or not, and everybody knows this. Everybody's going through something, right? Everybody's been through something, and our prayers are for you, man. That's why I always am out there saying, just be good people. Treat each other well. You never know what somebody's going through, man. Jordan, I appreciate you being here, and I'm glad you're doing okay, and my prayers are for you, man. Okay, let's see. Jerome, what's up, man? Appreciate you. I hope Lawson and Key can play by the time the Iron Bowl comes. Yeah, so Jerome is talking about Deontay Lawson and Jalen Key. So Deontay Lawson, he's dealt with an ankle injury for the most part since that Mississippi State game. And, he missed the game against Kentucky. He's Alabama's signal caller at the interior linebacker position. He's had an amazing season. He's a great football player. The inside linebackers this year are phenomenal for Alabama, along with Jahad Campbell and Tresman Marshall. And those will be your two interior linebackers against Chattanooga. And Jerome also mentions Jalen Key. So Jalen Key is Alabama's safety who's dealing with the quad injury. Now, this is the interesting part about this particular play. And again, when Coach Saban comes, I'll bounce out and you guys can watch Coach Saban. And I'll cut the press conference individually. So if you come back to watch it, it'll just be Coach Saban. Jalen Key, from what I can put together, was not originally supposed to be the starter at the safety spot. Now, I think the starter at the safety spot was going to originally be Devontae Smith. Now, you guys know Devontae Smith, right? For the Eagles? No. Alabama has another Devontae Smith who is also nicknamed Smitty. He had a foot injury probably, like a couple weeks before the first game of the season. And it turned out to be a pretty bad injury because, we haven't even seen him up to this point in time. We did finally see him, I think, a little bit spot play against Kentucky. At least he dressed out. So maybe he's getting closer. Coach Saban said a couple weeks ago that he was like 80%. And they wouldn't put him out there if he wasn't 100%. But, maybe if Jalen Key can't go or he's, if that quad's still giving him issues, maybe Devontae Smith can rise up, and that would be an amazing story as well, just to add depth to that secondary. And of course, you have Christian Story back there. By the way, against Kentucky, that was a fumble. And that last touchdown, when Caleb Downs stopped him, and Kentucky's like on the 1 yard line, Christian Story hit that young man good and hopped on top of that football. That was a fumble. The final score of that game should have been 49-14. 49-14. All right. Thoughts on what's up, LK? Thoughts on Oregon State favorite over Washington? Look, Oregon State is a sneaky team, and them favorite over Washington is perplexing. So I think they're a 2-point favorite over the Huskies. The game is in Corvallis, in a place that all eyes are going to be watching. I haven't even seen what time that game is on. What time is that game on? Someone answer in the comment box. Is it going to be a Pac-12 after dark game? Whatever the case is, a lot of playoff implications. And the crazy thing is for Oregon, think about Oregon State. They're about to play Washington and Oregon in back-to-back weeks. Talk about a nice back-to-back gauntlet for the Beavers. But, man, I don't know. Look, DJ is playing some really good football. Who would have thought that he transformed into this quarterback? Because when he was at Clemson, he just never got it going, right? So now you see him go all the way west, be more comfortable. That's a dangerous team, 100%. And you see where they are in the playoff rankings. Look, the committee loves the Pac-12, loves the Pac-12. And I think I hit on this earlier is when Oregon was rolling early on in the season and Colorado had all that momentum, I honestly think that Oregon kind of got like a fake boost by beating Colorado as badly as they did. And I think they've kind of been living off that as well. Like Colorado was always going to be a pretender, but they always had, they had the TV ratings. They had kind of that allure, and everybody was riding that wave of Coach Prime. So I think they got an added boost from beating Colorado as badly as they did, but that was going to happen regardless. All right. So I don't know. I just think before this, let me ask you this. How many times have we been talking about the Pac-12? It's like the Pac-12. This is the last year. This is their Alamo year. And we are like, that's all we're talking about is the Pac-12. I've never talked about the Pac-12. And I'm from the West. I'm from New Mexico. I used to cover Colorado, so I know the challenges it presents to winning as the Buffs, right? It's a hard place to win no matter who the coach is. And but we've talked about them again and again and again. Luke is saying, ask about Lonergan. Yeah, ask Coach. So is Dylan Lonergan going to be the third quarterback to play against Chattanooga? That would send Coach nuclear. Look, my question for you guys, because we can talk about this. Here's some rat poison. Who is the third quarterback to play in this game on Saturday? I'm sorry. There, I said it. I can't spend too much time on it. I want Coach Saban to come after me, but who is the third quarterback to play hypothetically on Saturday? Sound off in the comment box. All right. Jordan, what's up? Another question. Do you think Milroe has a shot at winning? Maybe you mean the Heisman? For the Heisman, look, water bottle. I told you. So when that water bottle, it can be any minute. So let me check the sound settings real quick and just need to make sure that everything's buttoned up for you guys. All right.
So, we're trying to emphasize with the players. They've responded, fairly well, but the number one focus, this week needs to be on this game. We need to take care of business in this game. I got out the 2016 game, which was the last time we played these guys, and score was like 3-0 or something halfway through the second quarter, and we were behind. So, and just about all the players out there playing were, really good players, most of whom played in the NFL. So having your mind right, having the right focus on what you want to accomplish and what you want to do, having the right passion for how bad you want to do it, and having the mental toughness to, handle tough and difficult situations, handling hard, I think is really, really important. We need to focus on what we need to do to take care of business in this game. And, the players have been pretty good about that so far.
Yeah, how have Deontay and Jalen and Jalen Key, I should say, Jermaine progressed in terms of their health this week?
Jermaine Burton is fine. He's practiced. Jalen and Devontae are both, moving around, running, rehabbing, getting close to being ready to practice and play. But I'd say it's still pretty questionable as to whether they can make it for the game. If they can't practice tomorrow, then most of the time we don't, if guys can't practice on Thursday, we don't think they're healthy enough to play in the game. But we'll see what comes of that tomorrow.
Yeah, hey coach, with a guy like Roydale Williams, just what has he meant to the program as an in-state guy, overcoming injury and sticking around for his senior year?
Well, Roy Dell's a great team guy. I mean, he's a really good special teams player, great character. I think he loves Alabama. He loves his teammates. He's a really good teammate. Been very productive every opportunity that he's gotten, whether it's to play running back or do something on special teams, be a kickoff returner. He's always the first one to step up. He's always got a smile on his face. And I think he's, a great example for guys that, sort of persevere in their career and overcome obstacles and become very successful because of that, because I think that's probably one of the ingredients you need to have to be successful.
Chattanooga has a couple wide receivers putting up pretty good numbers this season. What do they do that's kind of a threat in the passing game?
Well, first of all, the quarterback's a really good player. I think the guy was at UCLA for 4 years or something like that. And so he's a, major college passer. He's very smart, makes good decisions. All these guys, good skill set. I'd say they're, on the level of SEC receivers. They throw a lot of RPOs and a lot of advantage throws. So these guys get a lot of touches in games, depending on how you're playing on defense. So it's a talented group, and they have one of the best offenses, in their league, their division, whatever you want to call it, in the country.
Cody, any follow-ups after that?
Malachi is a guy that came on, played immediately as a freshman, got hurt, kind of took a back seat, and then it seemed like he's really emerged again this season. Just what have you maybe seen, just his overall progression throughout his career?
Yeah, Malachi has always been a guy that we have a lot of confidence in. We always had a lot of trust that he's a smart player, played multiple positions. Every time that he's had to play, he's played extremely well. And, last year he played mostly in dime, when we played dime. This year he's playing all the time, safety and star. But, I've never, ever considered Malachi in his entire career since he's been here as a freshman as not being a starter. And a very good one that we could trust and rely on to go out and do a really good job for us. And he's never disappointed us.
That's all we got.
All right. Thank you all.
The recording has stopped.
Wow, that was short and sweet, right? My goodness. It's been a while since we've seen a press conference that short, but I mean, it is what it is. So if you guys have questions, I'll stick around for a little bit if you guys want to chop it up and talk some Alabama football. So why don't you guys go ahead and post your guys' comments or questions inside the comment box, and I'll get to you guys throughout, the next 15 or so, 20 minutes or whatever. So again, my name is, if you're new to the channel, whatever, hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. I appreciate you guys being here. Thank you very much. And actually, do you guys want to see some resumes? I mean, I've been posting these a couple times. I will go ahead and post a couple. Let's start with Oregon, because I think when you look to Oregon's particular resume, all right, you guys are going to like this. All right. So what I've been doing throughout this week is I have been adding some resumes or whatever it is to, all right, let me see this. All right. 1 second. I've been adding some playoff resumes, and we've been talking about playoff resumes, and I wanted to put up Oregon right here. So let's look at the Oregon Ducks playoff resume. And what I did was, I tried to be as fair and as balanced as I could when looking at these particular resumes and kind of going through with Oregon, and we'll start this right here. So let me put this as full screen. So you have Oregon right here. They are on a 4-game winning streak. They're 9-1, 6-1 in the Pac-12. The number one scoring offense, obviously impressive. My goodness. I mean, 46.3 points a game. A lot of that is clearly because of Bo Nix and the job that he's been doing. I think he scored 6 touchdowns against Cal. Really impressive. I know it's against Cal, but whatever. I mean, it's still a ton of points, or still, a ton of touchdowns. With that said, Jalen Milroe just had 6 as well against Kentucky. Beat number 22 Utah, and the rankings are based off the last college football rankings release, which was Tuesday night. They did lose to number 5 Washington. They have the number 18 overall defense, points allowed per game 17.10. The number 12 scoring defense, and then the number 52 strength of schedule by Power Guru. Check out Power Guru. They have some cool stuff to go through. And then you have, the Heisman odds right there. So when you look to Oregon right there, that's their resume. What do you guys think about Oregon overall? I mean, this is a team that they just have one loss. I mean, the coach has a lot of momentum. He's been doing a good job with that team. And clearly, I mean, this is a team that, is ahead of Alabama. This is the one team I think that I feel Alabama should certainly be ahead of. And I've talked about this before. I mean, I've showed Alabama's resume. Okay, you want to see this one? Look at this. Okay, this isn't loading up. I mean, these are facts right here. Okay, Bama's resume. This is crazy. 8-game win streak, 7-0 in SEC play. Beat number 13 Ole Miss, beat number 15 LSU, beat number 18 Tennessee, lost at home to number 7 Texas. Points per game 33, points allowed per game 18. Second half points. I listed this because I think it's style points. 175 to 77. Those are some great adjustments for Alabama on the back end. The 22nd ranked defense overall, and then the second strength of schedule by Power Guru overall, which is amazing. Purdue actually has the strongest schedule. It's because they played Ohio State and Michigan. And then you have Jalen Milroe in his recent play, which has really been phenomenal. So I think they've just done, an incredible job down the backstretch. And I think that, this team is certainly playing like a top 4 team at this point in time. Let me know what you think about that inside the comment box. If you guys have questions, just go ahead and throw them up. Matt is saying that did he say that Jalen Milroe will not play against Chattanooga? No. Coach Saban, the points that he hit on, a couple injury updates. He said that Jermaine Burton, I mean, clearly he was sick. He'll be fine. Devontae and Jalen Key. He said that if those guys aren't close to being 100% by this point in time, that they won't play. So Jalen is Jalen Key, who's on the defensive side, and we talked about that earlier. He's dealing with a quad injury, so more than likely what that will do for Alabama in the secondary, if you can't go with Jalen Key and you can't go with Devontae Smith, you have Christian Story, and then this will be crazy. What about, remember Tony Mitchell? I mean, who knows? I mean, maybe he sees some time back there. I don't know. I mean, you're going to have to start having guys kind of go up. But yes, Luke, he was talking about Jalen Key Jalen Milroe will 100% start this game. And he won't finish it, but he will definitely start it. Coach Saban also talked about Roydell Williams and the job that Roydell Williams has done this season for Alabama and overall throughout the course of the year. I mean, I'm looking at the stats right here for Roydell Williams, and Alabama's featured back, I guess you could say, has been Jace McClellan. I mean, he does have 145 attempts for 675 yards. Roydell Williams has 79 carries for 415 yards with 2 touchdowns. Had a nice touchdown catch in that last game. It was kind of, Jalen got the ball to him and he kind of did the rest. So Roydell Williams is a guy who is from Hueytown and, in-state guy that has worked really hard on his craft, and him and Jace have been a really good combo. And the guys behind him, behind Jason Roydell, my goodness, think about the running backs for next year, okay? You're going to have Jam Miller. You're going to have Justice Haynes. You're going to have Richard Young. I mean, that is a loaded running back room. Absolutely. I mean, I think that's going to be absolutely loaded. And Jeremiah is saying that Saban's locked in. Yeah, that was short and sweet, all business. And, you got to have your your site's laser focused on Chattanooga. Coach Saban talked about Chattanooga and their offensive attack, and the fact that they have a transfer from UCLA. They do a lot of RPO, so I think that'll provide another opportunity for the secondary to be challenged. With that said, I mean, the Alabama secondary, look at who they went. I say this all the time. They went against Texas. They went against Ole Miss. They went against, Texas A&M. They went against Tennessee, LSU. My goodness. But you got to stay awake, in a game like this. You can't let these games be trap games. He also talked about Malachi Moore, and the job that Malachi Moore has done at the University of Alabama has been really amazing. When you look on the defensive side of the ball and you look to statistics and you kind of get the framework of this defense, it's amazing to see that, first of all, that the defense is led by a freshman in tackles. With Caleb Downs, who has 83 overall. And then you have Malachi Moore, who Coach was talking about, who has 39 tackles this year, 4 tackles for a loss, playing at the star position, 4 pass breakups. And I think, when you look to this defense, you clearly you have confidence in the defense, right? I think a lot of people out there that follow Alabama, they still have, a lot of people have shaken that week 2 game. And there was some times where you had to shake that week 3 game and kind of, some early season, stuff that Alabama was going through. But the defense, you've never been nervous about the defense. You've never had anxiety about the defense 100%. I mean, these guys have done a great job. And I love the fact that this defense is complete. I say that all the time. What's up, Gavin? I appreciate you, man. Crazy no one believes we'll beat Georgia. I don't know, man. I mean, I think Alabama beats Georgia. I think it'll be a hell of a game. I mean, that could be, honestly, the national title game. Can you imagine? How about this? No one's really talked about this either. What if Georgia gets to that point and Alabama gets to that point, Alabama wins, and you have Alabama and Georgia, different sides of the bracket, and they end up playing again? That would be amazing. Can you imagine a double dose of Alabama and Georgia in Houston, right, for the national title? That would be absolutely amazing. So if you guys haven't looked at kind of the playoffs, and I know this is all rat poison now, but where the playoffs are headed, you have Pasadena this year, and then you have you also have, where is it? Is it New Orleans? And then the championships in Houston. So yeah. Do you guys have any more questions before I kind of wrap it up for the night? I appreciate you guys hanging out with me tonight. That was a quick Coach Saban press conference. I'll put timestamps in this video, and I appreciate all you guys' support. Honestly, thank you very much for hanging with me tonight. Tomorrow morning, I'll be live at 9 a.m. Central Time. Same with Friday. I'll have Coach Sean on Fridays, and we talk Alabama and trending topics around college football. So I really appreciate you guys being here with me tonight, and we will catch you guys tomorrow on the Call-In Show. Coming to you from beautiful Tuscaloosa, Alabama. My name is Kyle Henderson of Bama Football. Hit the thumbs up, like, subscribe. Think about becoming a fan funder. Hit the join button at the top of this YouTube channel where it says join. As low as $2.99. I really appreciate you guys' support. I hope you guys have a good rest of the night. I'll catch you guys soon.